Hey, what's going on, Dealer Talk family? So, with everything going on, I wanted to put this video together to share with you some strategies that you can implement on your Google My Business pages to capitalize on some SEO, but also on some local activity. The Google My Business is a very effective way to connect with your local audience, which is critically important in these times. Take a look at this video, and we'll talk in the end. All right, here we go. So let's talk about GMBs. The number one thing to consider right now, especially given the current situation, is that GMB is going to help you with your local organic presence, right? And now more than ever, keeping things closer to the dealership, 10 to 30 miles is going to be critically important. Remember, the message is different, right? For a lot of dealers, they're changing the way that they do business, as they should. So they're picking up customers' vehicles for service, they're delivering cars, delivering paperwork, and so the GMB is a great way to optimize your website locally. So let's talk about a couple different things. So the number one thing that I would recommend you do is look at your look at how your GMB website is configured, right? For example, here's an example of something that needs to be updated. So HTTP, you want to change this to HTTPS. And the reason you want to do that is you want to prevent these types of errors, right? Not that this will happen with everybody, but you just want to make sure that customers don't get this type of experience. A lot of times, customers go to third-party sites or other areas where they find your inventory, and then they go directly into Google and they search for your business. And so if they do that and they get this type of an experience, then you're likely to lose that customer. The other thing that I would highly suggest is that you use UTM codes on your GMB so that you can track it in your analytics, right? So for example, for this particular dealership, you can see how it appears here, 387 customers, or 13% of the activity that they're getting is coming through the GMBs. So using those UTM tags is going to allow you to just get a clear view of the impact. Oftentimes you'll see that customers leave, come back, leave, and come back, and it's all done through that Google My Business presence. Another thing that you want to look at when optimizing your GMBs is make sure that you don't have this question here. This means that this GMB hasn't been claimed by this business, and your competitors or anybody can go in and suggest changes like I did here to show this example. Because it's not claimed, you won't get notified, right? And I believe it's after 72 hours, if you haven't responded and pretty much told Google that this is incorrect, these suggestions, it can actually be published this way. So you want to be really careful. It's basically like leaving the door open to your home, right? So definitely make sure that your GMBs have been claimed and verified. So the way to ensure that is you claim it through the Google My Business portal, and then Google sends out like a postcard with some codes, or a PIN number rather, that you put into your Google My Business, and that verifies it, that you're the person, that the address is correct and that you're the person that's going to be managing that. Let's talk about Bing, for example. A lot of times we forget about Bing because obviously Google is what's driving most of the activity. But make sure that you're claiming your business on Bing as well, right? So that you have that coverage, so that you have that presence. The other thing I wanted to mention really quick is that your GMB allows you to do a pretty cool thing, or has a pretty neat feature, which is it allows you to post ads for free. And it would go in that section, and you can see. So for this particular dealership, I'm currently working with this particular store to optimize their GMBs, but we've already added ads into there to talk about some of the changes that they've currently made to adjust for the times. So as you can see here, for example, this is an alternative for parts pickup. Here's an alternative for service. and then you can go into, and this will navigate directly to either a landing page or back to a website. So it's very important to have those pathways created once the ad is in place. But don't forget that this is an opportunity for you to advertise on Google free of charge. Ultimately, with the GMB, what Google is trying to do is they're trying to keep customers on Google as much as possible, right? So the more you have in there, and you can put inventory in there as well. So if we scroll further down, we'll start to see some inventory that's been posted here. So just making sure that you're taking advantage of that is going to be very, very important. So another thing that you can do with the GMB, or that I would recommend you doing, is splitting up your sales and your services. As as I'm sure a lot of you have gone into or looked at in the past, you have to pick one or the other when it comes to hours and information. So just make sure that you have a GMB set up for the sales department and a GMB set up for the service department. Now, in the past, Google has actually looked at that negatively, but now those rules have changed, in particular for car dealers. Just make sure that you state in your GMB that the service department is located inside the dealership, and it'll say in the GMB of the service department that it's located within that specific dealership. Example of that, and I'm going to post this article in the comments, so you can go into the description of this video on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to put a link to this article by Dealer Inspire. It's pretty relevant too. I believe it's from January of this year, and it's very comprehensive. So there's some more strategies to kind of touch on what we were talking about here about splitting up the services, right? The sales from service. What you want to make sure is that it says on there that it's located within that dealership, and then it'll also allow you to update your service hours, which in the past has been difficult to do, to post sales and service hours, because typically those are different schedules. So that's going to help you accomplish two different things. Number one, you'll be able to create a consistent flow of information where service department hours and things of that nature are clear and accurate. And number two, again, it's going to help you with optimization, right? Especially now, think about customers looking at sales and service. Especially if you're in areas where you're shut down, having that service GMB is going to help you with that local presence. It's going to help you with the optimization of your website, and obviously that's going to just help you connect with more potential customers.
All right, everybody, there you go. Hopefully this information was helpful. Make sure to implement some of these tools, in particular the posts. Take advantage of those posts. Get that information out there. It's free, folks. So the more information you have out there, the better. I'm here to help. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And as usual, we'll talk later.